Summertime is truly near. Kids can't wait till it's here. Summer break away from school. Picnics, parks, playgrounds, pools. Precious time with daughter and son. Ending with the moon, starting with the sun. Long days of fun, frolic and joy. Excitement for every girl and boy. Relaxation is the norm, starting with the rising morn. Movies and zoo, the fun never ends. Out with schoolmates and favorite friends. A lack of fun we truly fear, 'cause summertime is truly here. Although some spend summer much differently.
I would describe Park Forest as a middle-class community south of Chicago with a real interesting history as one of the first planned communities in the country. It's also a community that embraced racial integration, religious integration back in the 60s, the 70s, up until today.
Most people describe us as a middle-class neighborhood. I would think we are actually maybe a little bit below the middle-class level of income.
The village has a long history of being both traditional and non-traditional in trying to promote civic engagement, getting residents together for community events, whether it's through our community relations programming, our recreation and parks programming, our police department's PAC programming. Some of those things are very traditional. By traditional, I mean the village is heavily involved with things like youth football, youth baseball.
The league needs to be a part of the community because the community is important to them. We try to help out whenever we can. Obviously, from March, June, we're quite busy, but we try to have a presence at the Main Street nights. True, we use it as a fundraising base for our concession stand products and whatnot. However, we see a lot of people. We've met more people. People know us. People see the baseball name.
Park Forest Baseball is really important to the community because it's one of those groups that I think should be in the fabric of the community, similar to youth football, Kiwanis Club, Rotary Club. Things of that nature bring the community together, and if the village can bring those groups together and facilitate an interconnectedness, I think it's more important now more than ever.
I think the league's, it's definitely good for the community, for the kids. And I don't know, I feel like I always bring up the kids, but I think that that's what it's always about, especially with, you know, they volunteer to sign up to play. And the community, like you said, I mean, they're at the main night events. You always hear about Park Forest Baseball somewhere. So I think if it's talked about in the community, that's a good thing.
It keeps the kids occupied, it keeps them active, it gives them something to look forward to, gives them that sense of accomplishment, and all that builds the community, not only just within teams, but then also when you look at friendships that last when you're not on the same teams. Even when they have to compete against each other, there's still that sense of friendship that's out there on the fields.
When it comes to the families in Park Forest Baseball, I have kids that walk by and, hey, do you remember me? And all I have to do is say, I know you played, but I don't remember your name, and they'll tell me first name, and then I'll get the name and who they played for last.
If I could make one improvement or adjustment in the league, it would be to encourage more parents to come out and watch their children play. Unfortunately, nowadays with the amount of single-parent households, with grandparents, with work schedules, with train schedules, a lot of times the kids will get dropped off at the game and they don't always have anybody watch them play, and that's probably the saddest thing to see. And unfortunately that also translates into volunteering. Not everybody has the time to volunteer. I think those who do volunteer their time and those who do come out and watch the game have a special bond with their kids.
A lot of the players that we have, from my experience, a lot of the fathers aren't around. I mean, not that they're not around, they're not involved. So when they come out and with the coaches, I think we kind of give them some direction on discipline, when to listen.
There's many players here that don't have a male role model or a male influence at home. There's single moms here. I just try to instill in them that what's right and what's wrong.
I think Park Forest Baseball fills the need for many of us who, when we were growing up, were involved with organized sports. And it kind of brings it full circle for me to be doing it with my kids, to be engaging families who are like-minded, who see the value of team sports and what it does for our children, to promote things such as discipline, work ethic, taking instruction, getting involved in the community and leading an active lifestyle.
My house, and during the summertime, my house is the sleepover house for a bunch of kids from my team. Kids have fun, you know, as long as they don't destroy the house, that's fine.
I know myself and Alan with our son AJ, these are the best times of our lives, this whole age group. He's 12 now, and I'll be able to look back on it in 20 years and think, man, you know, remember when? And hopefully when he's that age, he'll be doing exactly what I'm doing with his children. In fact, I've already told him he'll be doing it.
My own children help tremendously. It gives us a family thing to do. When we're going shopping for the stand, they'll come with me. When we're preparing to get it open or doing things at home to get it ready, the kids are there helping me make posters, and we're all sitting around the kitchen table doing things together as a family.
I think the examples of the league as a family are numerous. You get to know the players, you get to know their families. The best example I see now is as I take my kids to school, I have a lot of little ones who come up to me who would know me no other reason why, will give me a high five, shake my hand, ask me how I'm doing.
Alan and I started in this village, nobody knew us, which sometimes is a good thing. And now when we go places, and I'll have somebody say hi, and I look at them, I may not know their name, but I know their face, or I know their child.
When those kids are out in the park, you feel responsible for every child that has a uniform on that is there playing. Kids that don't even play will come and touch base with you just to let you know they're there. In other words, keep an eye on me. Here we are. And it's a huge responsibility, but that's definitely a feeling we get when we're out there. And the parents feel the same way. They know we're there. They know that our concern is their children and their safety.
Sometimes I get to hear things from these kids that the parents will never get to hear, that they confide in me that something's wrong or they're having trouble in school, or sometimes they just talk to me about problems at home, and I help them through situations in their life that could be a problem.
It's gone from just meeting people when my oldest first started, maybe 7-8 years ago, to getting to know people, to these are the same children that come to my house every weekend to spend the night, that the kids have formed huge bonds. And then us as adults, planning birthday parties like last minute celebrations. Baseball season's over and we're having Bears parties together. There's so many examples of how we come together and celebrate and mourn and stick together whenever one of us needs something.
We care about the families. You know, if there's a family that needs help somewhere. We've had some families where coaches' parents have passed away, players' parents have passed away. We make every concerted effort to attend the services, just to be there and let them know that, yeah, we're a baseball organization, but you know what? We're family too, and we're there to help you.
I remember when my son suffered an appendicitis, which happened actually on opening day. He played on opening day with a burst appendix. But this league rallied around him. They sent cards. He received gifts. And they were always trying to find out if he was doing okay.
Well, when you look back at the kids that I teach and I see in the hallways and they're yelling, "Hey, coach," and I'm not a coach, but they're used to seeing you out there on the field every Saturday. Or seeing their smiles when you've put a baseball question up in the board, you know, at school. And they can relate to that. And they know that it's close to my heart. And they always come in, you know, on Monday mornings and tell me how they did. You know, we won or we lost.
When you spend 9 months with the same people, you have no choice but to become a family. We start Park Forest baseball in January, and we usually don't end till around the end of August. With everything that has to be done. So you make a lot of good friends, you make a lot of good acquaintances, myself, my wife, my 2 boys. We've got friendships and acquaintances that we have had for a long time because these people, well, I see them more than my own parents and my own brothers and sisters.
Luckily, with my wife involved and my son involved, our family has not sacrificed much. There have been some family functions that we haven't gone to, that we haven't attended, but you know, that happens. Other than that, we're in it for the kids, and I don't see it as a sacrifice.
There are sacrifices. I mean, when you are trying to balance a family, especially with more than one child that's not involved in the league, and your own husband, it takes a lot of time away from home. That every night from you get off work and you head straight to the fields until it's time for bed. So whether it's helping kids with homework or trying to drive other kids elsewhere, that time commitment is just huge.
I don't think I've made many sacrifices. I mean, other than just a little bit of time away that would be away from my wife. But other than that, my job allows me to do the things that I like to do for the kids, for the community, for myself. Always wanted to coach, always wanted to be involved with the kids, and that's what I've done. And since day one, I don't really think I've sacrificed much. I think I gained a lot more than I've sacrificed.
When it comes to being in the baseball league, my wife and I have talked about this, that the sacrifice we've made in the league, and I really wouldn't call it a sacrifice, but we have lost a lot of our other friends because they're just not involved in baseball or they're not in this area. But on the other hand, we've made a lot of other really good friends and a lot of good acquaintances, not only myself, but my wife and my 2 boys.
It's an all-day job, all summer long, all winter long. Besides the board meetings and being there to take notes and to stay up to date on what's happening and what's coming up. We've got registration, where we all participate to make sure the kids are registered, which starts already in this next week in October. We do the uniforms, ordering, putting everything together so the kids have everything they need. Once they come in, we spend hours at Mary Kay's house sorting the uniforms, making sure whatever we're missing so that every child feels they've got what they need when they're ready to start on opening day. Constantly looking for ways to raise money, fundraising. Right now we're spending the whole winter working on the auction and being able to accumulate things so that we can plan for an awesome spaghetti dinner to raise funds for the building.
The indoor facility came about because we had seen the need to be able to practice a little more often than we did. The traditional baseball season, people see it as a summer activity. However, it starts in March and it's over by the end of June. And sometimes, you know, we just don't have enough with the weather in this area to be able to get the kids out to practice. So the village was kind enough to help us with the temporary facility, and it kind of just happened, I guess, by accident, for lack of a better word. And then as we were unable to use that area, by that time we had seen that it was important. And actually, indoor facility has a few different meanings. Yes, baseball is primary, but many kids don't get the opportunity to exercise, to get you know, physical activity. And this is a great way to do it, because all of our sessions start off with 4 or 5 laps around the indoor facility. And we've got them up and moving, where normally, if we didn't have a facility in the middle of winter, they're just sitting at home, be it homework, reading a book, video games, whichever. But this gives them an opportunity to be up in the middle of winter doing things and to continually keep their skill level going. And some kids would be out there 360 days a year if their parents let them.
And it's very difficult for us to compete with the southern states and the western states because they get to play all year round. An indoor facility would give our kids a better edge when it comes to playing ball, possibly in college and high school, because some of our towns that are a little more well-to-do, they've got their indoor facilities, and these kids get to play all year round and be able to beat out our kids when it comes time for a possible benefit for college scholarships and college tuition.
I just want the kids to have a chance to play, a chance to learn the game of baseball, to give them a chance to possibly go on to play in college, you know, to get a college education out of this. Seeing the kids' faces after games, while they're playing the games, and maybe not only playing the games, but when you're at practice, when we're in the preseason workouts and doing things with them, when it finally clicks in their eyes and I got it, I caught a ground ball, I caught a fly ball.
When I'm umpiring a game and a 7 or 8 year old who may not be the best on the team or whatever, any of them for that matter, gets a hit, they run to first base, they're all excited, everybody's cheering, and they just simply got a base hit, but yet the smile on their face is unimaginable, and they are so excited. You would think that somebody handed them a gold medal in the Olympics.
Knowing everybody, being out there, not having children who are sitting inside playing video games all day, seeing so many kids out there laughing, making friendships, just being witness to all that is incredibly gratifying.
I like to see when they've accomplished something or they've gotten over a fear. I think that's what's most satisfying. Friendships, when they make their friendships. I like how kids in the beginning of a season don't know anybody, and by the end of the season they've all got to know each other, and that kind of pushes through if they go to school together or church, or you know, they run into each other at a grocery store.
You know, we just had a impromptu get together for a fall game, and I had a little 5-year-old player that was in the right spot at the right time to back up on a play, and that brought a lot of good feelings to me, that what we're teaching, what they learn, you know, that makes me feel good.
Sometimes the lack of parent participation can be frustrating, let alone disappointing. When parents drop their kids off for games and they're not there to witness what we get to witness and to feel that sense of accomplishment when a kid hits a home run, or when a kid gets injured, being there, just that sense of ownership for those kids and their pride when they do something. Not to have a parent there is kind of disappointing. Being able to help one child is an awesome thing, but when you look around the baseball field, think of the hundreds that you see out there day after day after day, and all these little things is benefiting each and every one of them. So the more time and effort you put into volunteering, the better it is for the entire community.